The Sopranos follows the boss of the Soprano family, Tony Soprano, as he navigates through life as a family man and as the leader of a glorified crew. Tony has a vast amount of colourful characters working with him and under him, such as successful businessman Silvio Dante, a women's rights activist who provides work to local women, the grilled cheese specialist chef Phil Leotardo, and the 2006 honoree for excellence in recycling Paulie Gualtieri. Now, one such character is Vito Spatafore, a minor soprano soldier who first appears in Season 2. Vito is mainly in the background of scenes here and there, featured in a few storylines such as when his brother is beaten by Mustang Sully or when he is given the task of killing Jackie Jr. But Vito is a come-from-behind kind of guy, and he works his way up the ranks and eventually becomes capo of the April crew after the mysterious disappearance of Ralph Cifaretto. Season 6 is when Vito really comes into his own, as after Tony is shot by Uncle Junior, Vito flirts with the idea of becoming boss in the event of his passing. But he's gotta wait for that, as Tony recovers, and not long after, Vito, shockingly, is seen dancing at a gay bar in a motorcycle outfit with the leather hat and the vest. Chaps too. I'm sorry, it's true. And thus, Vito goes on the run, ends up in a gay fling that seems straight out of a romance novel, but unable to leave the mob life, he returns to Jersey, only to find Phil Leotardo, a few goons, and a pool cue waiting for him upon his return. I wonder if it was chalked. Anyway, we the viewer already knew about Vito's little secret because of an encounter between him and Finn Di Troglio, his arch nemesis. Finn is the boyfriend of Tony's daughter Meadow, and he gets a job at the construction site where much of the Sopranos family members have no-show and no-work jobs, including Vito, who has the daunting task of sitting in the sun on his fat ass. One day, Finn arrives at work bright and early, and in the parking lot comes across a security guard in his car, looking askew, and notices that he's actually being blown by Vito. You can see Finn thinking, he was gay, Vito Spatafore? Before he becomes depressed and ashamed. After all, Vito seemed like the strong, silent type. How much more betrayal can Finn take? Shortly after, Vito catches Finn pissing like a racehorse, and he proceeds to intimidate him, but then offers him tickets to a ball game, insisting he come along with him. In Vito's own words, "You're fucking going." Finn is of course terrified, and in fact he goes to Meadow with his woes, but she's a little preoccupied with a suitcase. Eventually, of course, Finn does not in fact turn up to the ball game and subsequently avoids Vito. We see Vito briefly in a scene where he is waiting for Finn, frustrated that he didn't come, almost as frustrated as the security guard was for not coming. Maybe Vito was frustrated because he had a note for Finn from his doctor. Maybe he was just pissed Finn missed out on an opportunity to see El Padres taking a beating from the Yanks tonight, and after the game, Vito planned on beating something else for the evening. Now, fans often like to discuss what exactly Vito had planned for Finn during or after the ball game. Now that Finn was aware of Vito's secret, not to mention he's dating the boss's daughter, if he were to leak this information, it would surely spell Vito's death. Naturally, many assume there was abundant intentionality in Vito wanting Finn to come to the ball game, because he wanted to kill him and get rid of the witness to his dirty deed. Is it beyond the realms of possibility for Vito to kill Finn? Of course not. He's a cold-blooded murderer. He killed his own relative Jackie Jr. and kills an innocent civilian later on. Vito would have no issue with taking out Finn, especially as his own life was in danger. But in this particular situation, we're talking about Meadow's boyfriend, and Finn would have surely told her he's going with Vito to a ball game. It would surely raise suspicion if Finn never came back, and Meadow would surely put two and two together, especially after her last boyfriend was also taken out by the mob. Could Vito come up with an excuse to Tony as to why Finn never came back home? Maybe telling him he was jumped by two black guys and it's sad when they go so young like that? Maybe say he had an accidental death, or just straight up feign ignorance and say he dropped him off at the library after the game or something. It's risky, but personally I think it's a risk worth taking in that scenario because there's no reason not to kill Finn. The alternative, him blabbering to everyone, is a far more dangerous scenario and would no doubt cement Vito's death sentence. Of course, one possibility fans speculate about is that Vito was actually going to rape Finn. For one, he's gay. But there's also that weird scene at the hospital where Vito grabs Finn's arm suggestively and saying, we better hope he, i.e. Tony, pulls through, as if suggesting that if Tony dies, Finn's protection is gone and thus he's in for some non-stop ass rape. Of course, much of Vito's mannerisms and dialogue when he first confronts Finn are also suggestive, like saying he sounds like a racehorse pissing, as if perhaps trying to hit on Finn now that the dude knows he bats for the other side and is suggesting that he feels Finn might have a large member. Then there's him saying, you're strong, that helps, which obviously sends alarm bells ringing in Finn's head as the implication does not go unnoticed, with Finn fearing that Vito might want to give him whipped cream and tuck him in at night, as shown when he says to Meadow, he came onto me, either that or he wants to kill me, and also maybe he wants to fuck me and then kill me. Maybe Vito's plan wasn't that extreme. Maybe his idea was to give Finn the tickets, go to a ball game with him, and perhaps start showering him with more gifts and tickets. In other words, buying his silence. By buddying up with Finn and acting the part of a friend, he lessens the chance of Finn talking. And intimidating Finn at the bog was a backup plan. In other words, keep quiet and I'll make it worth your while. Say the wrong thing and I'll hurt you. And by Finn taking a favour from Vito, he would essentially be even Stevens, or owe Vito, which is a tried and tested mob tactic to get someone in your pocket, or in this instance, get in their pants, as the suggestive way Vito talks to Finn cannot be denied. Of course, it could simply be Vito trying to strike fear into Finn by implying he might rape him, but the ball game tickets may have been Vito's idea of the beginning of a grooming relationship of sorts, where Vito was hoping Finn may have been secretly gay himself, unable to resist the temptation of Vito's sweaty oval body. Perhaps Vito made a plan to grease Finn's union down the line, or rather, first giving him the ticket, then giving him the pearls. Or maybe just straight up giving him cash. What's next? He gets to fuck him for $1 million? Maybe he paid off the kiss cam operator at the stadium, or, on a more serious note, coaxes, seduces, or intimidates Finn into a sexual act, and then he will have something on him. Vito saying it's bat night further implies that Finn would be spending the night catching, not pitching. To be honest, the best thing I think Vito could have done, other than of course not be stupid enough to blow a security guard at the place you work, is to have been straight, so to speak, with Finn and approach him honestly, saying that he has these inclinations and that if the wrong people found out, he would be in danger. He could appeal to Finn's liberal college attitude, who may have been uncomfortable but would know to keep silent. This all sounds very gay. But to answer the question of the video, I think it actually may have been a combination of everything. In other words, Vito panicked and he was malfunctioning, like he did when he got caught in season 6 and all he can say is, it's a joke, I was here. I don't think even Vito knew what he was doing. He threw every tactic at the wall, befriending, intimidation, grooming, and was hoping something would stick. At the very least, we know that he bought tickets and was dressed in Yankee gear. There's an image. So we know he must have planned to go to the game at the very least, as he was standing there like a parade float with mushrooms growing out of his ass waiting for Finn, and he seemed genuinely upset that Finn didn't turn up. Maybe he was frustrated because he realized that Finn wasn't going to bend over so easily, that he wasn't going to be intimidated. But his weird and odd behavior towards Finn at the construction site definitely implies he had something funky after the game planned. Maybe there was no concrete plan, and it was just a combination of hitting on him and intimidating him. After all, Vito's not a very smart guy. He went to a gay club that pays tribute to the mob. Vito actually messed up by scaring Finn, as this led him to get out a suitcase and tell Meadow. And now you have two people knowing, and if you remember, it was Meadow telling her mother what Finn saw that really made things undeniable for Tony. But this topic, who was to blame for Vito's death, is something I've already covered in another video, and I actually argue that the person who was most to blame was Vito himself. So check out the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Finn would most likely have been too scared to turn up to the game even if Vito had played nice, let alone with the way Vito tried to scare him. Plus, Finn probably didn't want a ticket that a minority could have. Perhaps Vito should have tried the "I was here, it's a joke" line and see how far that got him. Or maybe say to Finn, "I'm not Vito, I'm Gino from the cannoli shop." So what do you think Vito planned to do with Finn, and what was his idea with the tickets? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.